In this video, I take a look at how you can set the properties of the controls of the widgets at design time within Visual Basic when using Visual Studio. You can see here a form at design time. Onto this form I have drawn a button. Looking to the form, you can see there are sizing handles that allow me to resize the form to whatever size I prefer for the application. Within the center of the form, you can see I've got a button, and I can drag that to various sizes using the sizing handle. Ensuring I've got the form selected, so I'll come here and click on it, and you can see the sizing handles appear. So that tells us that the form has been selected. And if you come down here and look at the properties window, you'll see here that it says form 1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get hold of the properties window. I'm going to drag it up here for ease of viewing. And I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. And if I scroll up and down here now, what you're looking at are the properties associated with form 1. If we look to this, you can see it says back color, and it is showing us what the color of the form is going to be. And there are various other properties here that I can refer to. If you consider this here, you can see it says properties. Now with that selected, what you're going to see is the properties listed below. But what you can do, you can also, ensuring that this is still selected, come to here and click on this, and it'll show you the properties again, but this time the properties are in alphabetical order. So it is often the case that you know the name of the property you wish to use, so you click onto the alphabetical view because it's easy to find. But if you go onto this, you go to the categorized view of the properties. So here, for example, it shows appearance, and it shows you all of these, which will affect the way in which the form looks. And of course, I can scroll down, I can see other categories. Here you can see it says behavior, and these are to do with how the form will behave when your graphical user interface is running. And down here, you're looking at data bindings. This is to do with various other aspects. And you can see there are a number of them. Here's focus, here's layout, and we'll come to these in due course. I tend to use it with them being alphabetical because I'm aware of what most of the properties actually do, and I can find them quicker using the alphabetical view. But I wouldn't worry too much about that at this point. What I'd like to do now is to come over here and click on the button, and you can see that the button will be selected because its sizing handles will appear. And now look at the properties window, and you can see this says button 1, because what we now have listed here, and I'm going to scroll up and down, are all of the properties that are this time associated with the button, not the form. Likewise, I can now come here, click on this, and it shows you the properties categorized. Here, for example, shows you things that you can do to alter the appearance of the button. And I can scroll down and you can see there's the properties associated with the behavior of the button, and this is to do with the design. So there are various ways in which you can look at the properties of everything you draw on a graphical user interface. Here I've shown you the properties for a form and the properties for a button. When at design time, what we can do with the properties window is to alter some of the properties of the components that we actually draw on the form, and also the properties of the form itself. If you consider the button and you can see the sizing handles are there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to locate this here where it says font. I'm going to click on it, and you can see here 3 dots appear. Now when you see that, it means if you click on it, a dialog box is going to appear, which is here. And you can see that the button currently has this font, and it is of regular appearance. You can change it to italic by clicking onto this, and you can see the size is 14. What I'm going to do, I'm going to increase it to 22, and it gives you a look as to what the font will look like on the button here. And all you do now is click onto OK and look to the button, and you can now see it is italic and a little bit bigger because I changed it to italic and I made the size of it bigger. So that just illustrates how you can alter the properties when you're in the design view, as you can see in the example I've just shown you. While I've still got the button selected, you can see that the properties window is still associated with the button. And I'm going to come here to where it says back color, just so I can show you a different alteration of a property associated with the button. I'll click onto this. You can see a drop down menu appears, and you can then see there are a number of choices of colors here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to click onto custom, and you'll get a drop down list, and I'm going to choose the yellow here. Click onto that and have a look at the button, and you can see its property has been changed from the color it was a moment ago to yellow. So you can see I've changed another property of the button. Now there's an awful lot of properties I can change. I've just chose these because they've got a very strong visual representation. You can see what's going on. I'm now going to turn my attention to the properties of the form, and to do that I'll click on the form and you can see the sizing handles appear. And if you look here it says form 1, so now we know that this properties window is associated with the form. And one of the things I can do, I can alter the background color of the form to illustrate how changing properties uses the same approach regardless of the controller you're referring to. And what we can see here, it says back color. So I'll click in this area, go onto the drop down list. I'll choose custom again, and this time I'm going to choose red just simply because it stands out. And you can see that the form has changed its background color to red. Now let's be clear as to what I've done here. I've altered the properties of a button and of a form, and I've done so at design time. Now those alterations will show up at runtime. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run the application by coming here and clicking on demo. Now it's demo there because the name of the solution, the name of the project I've opened is called demo. And when you click onto this, what we should see appearing is the form as it does here. I'll put them side by side. Have a look at the button and you can see the background color is yellow and the font is italics and of a reasonable size, bigger than you would normally see if you left it at its default. And have a look at the color of the form and you can see its background color is red. Now note, this is a different color to this, and that's to do with the fact that when I compile this, when I decide to run it, it knows I'm using Windows 11, so it's choosing this color here and not what you see in the design view. So don't let that confuse you. What I have done here, I've changed the background color of the form to red, I've changed the background of the button to yellow, and I've changed the look of the font that appears on the button. Now I've stopped the runtime and I'm back in the design time. And what I'd like you to consider is button 1. So I'm going to select it and you can see the sizing handles appear. And if you look to here, you can see this says button 1. Now that was the default value for the text. I can change that to something more appropriate. And I'll just do something and I'll just put in, or I'll put in my name. It is good as anything to demo it. And then you can see that appears on the text property of the button. But it is not the name of the button. To find the property that's the name of the button, I recommend you get hold of this here and scroll right to the very top, and you'll see here you've got name. Now this is the name of the button, and you can see it happens to have the name button 1, which effectively is coincidentally the same name as the text property, the default text property. But what I would need to do as a programmer is to give this a sensible name. Now this sensible name should also identify what the control is, and it is a button. So what you would type in typically is BTN as a 3-letter memory aid to tell you that you're dealing with a button, and I'm just going to type a pile of X's here now. But in this area, you would give the button a sensible name. Obviously BTN and a pile of X's doesn't make any sense. But if this button was going to look at the next record, for example, in a database, you might call this next. So I can type in next here. And the name of the button is now BTN next. And just to show you that when I come away from this now, and you look to the name of the button being BTN next, I'll switch on to the form, I'll come back to the button, and look here. Can you see that the property is now BTN next? A moment ago was button 1 because that was the default. So moving off the properties window to the forms properties window and then back to the button property window updated the system, and now it knows that the name of that button is BTN next. Now, changing the name property of controls, widgets that you put on a graphical user interface is so important in my view from a software engineering perspective that I'm going to do a separate video on it, and it's going to be the next video in the playlist. Please consider subscribing to the channel and click the bell to ensure you get an update every time I upload a video. Maybe you would like to consider supporting the development of these free videos via Patreon. In addition, why not follow me on Twitter and also check out the supporting website.